Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Wednesday morning. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary as we are continuing big rides up, big rides down. These volatility swings can drive a person crazy if you don't have a plan. We had a couple of levels yesterday, a false breakout in one market and a true breakout in another. So we're going to go through each of those markets today and take a look at some of those areas where we saw some of those movements. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Tonight, quick reminder, if you are not super familiar with options and you want to learn more about options, we're doing an options deconstructed session right after our open forum session. So any questions you want to bring about trading in our open forum session, and then options deconstructed, where we're going to dive into the options Greeks tonight. So go to TradersArmy.com. All you have to do is be a free subscriber, and you will get the ability to join those rooms this evening. So let's go ahead and dive in. S&P this morning, we're up 60. Yeah, you heard me correct, up 60. The markets, you know what's funny is we're up 60, and it really doesn't look like all that big of a deal compared to the more recent movements. It's a big rally up. Now, I will say yesterday I anticipated getting a much bigger move out of this little breakout. We did get a little bit of basing here before the level. It's not the best basing, so I talked to a couple traders that stayed out because the basing was a little bit further away than where we normally like it. And that's what I talked about in the morning. Now, we did get the breakout on that emergency rate cut, and the Fed just basically smacked it back right. It just smacked itself right back down, came hammering down, and so you may have gotten a small stop out in this position. It might have been too rich for your blood if you got into it, or you might not have based on the basing. So this one did have enough for us to kind of take a look at and be comfortable getting in with. Now we've rallied up off of our low that hit at about 5 p.m. As the markets have gotten a little bit of strength off of that position. So that strength coming off of that position, I've got to look up above for where some supply might be to see if we're going to reverse. And there is some supply here, but we're kind of basing in front of that supply. So I would anticipate that would continue to move higher from this level. And so looking up at this region is where you kind of have to look for your next area of supply, which would be this area right in here. Now, this came after the big rally up. Price came back down and then rallied back up again on that smaller time period. So you could get a little tiny level in here, and I'm saying a little tiny level. It's still about a 10-point wide zone. Looking at that this morning, if we get basing in front of the level, that's going to kill the quality of that level. Nasdaq didn't come into any of our zones. We stayed below where our zones and levels happen to be inside the Nasdaq. It didn't give me that clean entry. On the 15-minute, we've not quite made it up to this area here. We're still a little bit weaker here in the Nasdaq overall, so let's keep an eye on this one as it may continue to pop up a little bit today. But it's definitely losing a little bit of steam. We're seeing a little bit more sideways price action relative to what it's been in the past on the 15-minute chart anyway, right, as it's slowing a little bit of momentum. So there's a chance we could still see price roll over from here and continue to head back down. The rallies we made were all in the weakest time of the night. So we didn't see huge momentum happening, during our prime hours. It was 5:30 to about 2 a.m., and then we've kind of just stalled out after that. So, I could see price continuing to roll over from here and heading back down. Looking at crude oil, so in crude oil, we had this little area here of demand, just barely missed this wick over wick level. And so now that wick over wick level, as I take a look at this, needs to switch to a confirmation entry, since it was, as they say in baseball, just a bit outside. Just missed us by a hair. Keep an eye out for basing in this level for an eventual breakdown, for price to trade down into here. And then gold, we had taken a look at gold. Talked yesterday about the fact that it was rallying up. I didn't think this level would hold. We switched to a confirmation entry for just that reason, and we got a big old rally up in gold yesterday on that announcement on our emergency rate cut. And so let's see if we trade up into this region here where we've got a better probability of a reversal. But this is why we use confirmation entries. All right, so that wasn't our best page. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities in there, and the only one that was a bit of a stop out. Looking at bonds, we got our little pop up during the day. We then came right back down. I think we could see another little opportunity above here, so keep an eye on this for a potential breakout. If you're not a fan of that breakout, this is a good little area here, but it's not fresh, right? Because we popped up to here, we came up, we came down, and then hit that level and rallied up off of it. So this level, not a fresh level, but still could also be an area if price comes back down into this range. Now, our euro level, our Aussie level. So our Aussie level, we did get the breakout that we were looking for. Price came up and hit its first target, and then blew right through there. So if you're looking to try to get short there, it didn't give you an entry. Came to its second target, and then also its second opportunity on a short, and hit that level and came down really hard from that level, which was a really nice move. So if you caught that one, leave me a comment down below. Always good to know when you miss out on, or when you catch those ones. If you miss out on the S&P, the Aussie still gave you a pretty decent entry. It looks to me like we're kind of losing steam to that upside, so we may see a reversal. So keep an eye on some sort of a breakdown area in through here. The euro also gave us a nice reversal as we hit our euro level yesterday and came down off of that zone. And this is one of them that was in our trade update sheet. By the way, if you are in tradersarmy.com this week for our free free preview week, if you go under community, trade worksheet and updates, you will see all of the trade updates that happen inside of the daily market commentary. So once we identify a level, we then put those updates inside of Traders Army as they hit levels, or as we move stops and things like that. And then the trade worksheet is really where we outline, here's a couple of positions that we've got that we're taking a look at that are pending. Here's some Forex trades in here as well, and some futures trades. So just keep an eye on this. If that's something that you are, in there for the free week, make sure that you're leaning on that trade worksheet as well as those trade updates. All right. When we're looking at the euro, I think that your target will be probably an area right down in here. If you're still in that short position, you take your stop though and move it above this pivot so that you've locked in a little bit of profit. Canadian dollar, we looked at a potential breakout above this area here. We didn't get it. We're still holding off on it, and it's still pretty valid, but nothing additional to add. Great British Pound and Japanese Yen. We had talked yesterday about the fact that the pound was kind of basing above this potential breakout area here. We had a little bit of a descending triangle pattern, but it didn't finish that up. And so I think the breakout is still very valid, and still a lot that can occur inside of there. And I like this area up here if we come back into it for a potential reversal on the smaller time period. And then the Japanese yen. We've got a couple of areas in here that are still prevalent. If I look at the 4-hour, my 4-hour trend is very strong to the upside. I don't really have any clean supply for a while. So if you wanted to go with an hourly, level of demand, and or you got to look for a clean one. I don't really have a clean one, but we may get a breakout to the upside that can allow for price to run up from here. Let's see our nat gas level that we've got for a potential reversal kind of hit and moved back down a little bit from that area yesterday. We may get a little bit of basing in here, and price to pop up above here, I think, might be the next logical move, which is, it's rare to see the words of natural gas going bullish or getting any bullish momentum at all, but it's at least worth looking at for today. So those are the levels that I have earmarked. Just because we're up 58 in the pre-market doesn't mean that we're going to stay up for the day. I've seen days like, this kind of where a day that where we're up 58 can turn red, or it can turn into a day where we're up 158. And so just here's the thing is, make sure that you keep your stops in place, that you maintain control over your positions. And if you have any questions at all, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Looking forward to seeing you tonight in the open forum session. The design there is to ask whatever questions you want regarding trading. We'll do our best to make sure that we get all of those answered. If you've got anything else you can do, just let us know. I will talk to you soon. See ya.